Welcome back. Yeah, here we are again, one more video in the karate tournament system. Okay, so let's keep working with our system and with our tournaments. Now we're gonna be talking about Team Kumite. This is located here. You can see you get a full menu for this. And I want to explain first how are we going to work with this module. On the Team Kumite, we're going to get two ways of doing Team Kumite. We're going to get the 4 teams and 3 teams. Okay, let's see how this works. You're going to be able to have 3 teams, right? Of 2, 3, 4, up to 5 competitors per team competing on the Team Kumite system. Then you get another module which is 4 teams. So you get a par number and a odd number. So you get a way to get as much competition you want, but you gotta combine these modules. So let me explain it again. Let's say you want to get 8 teams competing. You will have to run a 4-team kumite, and then you will have to run another 4-team kumite. And those 4 and 4 would be up to 8, right? Teams. And if you wanted a 9, a odd number, teams, or a 6 teams, if you get to have 6 teams, well, then you will run 3 teams on one system, and then you will run 3 teams on the other system. That way, you will end up running all the teams you have. And let me tell you, it might sound a little bit complicated, the explanation, but the truth of the matter is, when you're running a team sport combat, it's a lot of competitors, and each team competition takes a while because you get a lot of competitors competing a few times in order to get that team to win. So that's the way we work with the system of Team Kumite. And I know you're gonna love it because it's pretty simple. It makes it very fast and is very, very, very organized, which is something that is very complex when you're dealing with team, because team is a lot of competition, and you need to know who did what when, so that you could at the end of the day figure out what team won and what team lost. And I know you're gonna love it. Let's start with the Team Kumite. In this video, we will divide each because we're gonna explain both teams. The 3 teams and the 4 teams are gonna have separate videos. But even when we start with the first team, we're gonna have part 1 and then part 2 of the first team when we explain it. Okay, so let's start. I think we just got to start, right? So this is the way we're gonna work. First, you gotta register your teams. So the first thing you gotta do is create your teams. You're gonna go here and you're gonna click add a team, add or edit a team, right? So you click it here and this opens this window. On this windows, we already have a few teams registered, right? But we're gonna do a brand new one so that you could just see the process of getting a new team subscribed. So remember, if you get a 4 teams competition, you need to register 4 teams here, okay? If you get a 3 teams competition, you got to register 3 teams. And if you get a 8 teams competition, you will be registering here 8 teams. Okay, so just want to get that clear so that you don't think you just got to do once and then you will reuse it. You have to create a team per team. Even though it sounds redundant, I just want to make sure I get that clear. So we're just gonna create 1 team, but when we do the demos, I will be using these demos. They're already here done. I'm just gonna do one for you to see. So we go insert, and pretty simple. You can see it right here. It's a very simple screen. It just gives you a team number. This will be your team number. Then it asks you for what event code number are we going to use. Remember the code number that we created when we created the tournament? Yes. So, and remember that we say we were going to be using KTS 1010. So that's the one we're going to pick. It just puts the date of the event, and we keep going. Then it says the team name. And you could just put any name you want to put here. So we could put, I don't know, name 1. And don't worry about this because I have better examples already done. But you could have name 1. You could have, for example, Chicago, California. Or you could just call it Team 1. Or you could just call it something that makes sense to them. It's no big deal. And it's good that if you're going to use a team name, you use a name that they feel comfortable with, because they'll be showing on the screens and on the scoreboards. That's what people will be seeing, that team name. Then you get what type of event are you going to be doing. The division. It's going to be a division of beginners, intermediates, advanced. We also use this mix one, which allows us to mix the level of each competitor. So you could just create them. Remember when we created the divisions, but let's just say, for the fun of it, this is going to be an advanced over 3 years of experience. We click select. That's beautiful. How many members are each team going to have? Well, let's say they're going to have 5 members per team, right? And then we're going to select the modality. What is this going to be? Well, this is going to be a 3-team Kumite, which is, you will look for here. You see, they're called equipos in Spanish, but you could just create them in English. So you could put team of 3 teams event, or a 4-team event. In this case, let's just say this is a 3-team event. So we could just pick it here. Remember, this we created when we created the modality, so we could create this at our own pleasure. But we should put here something that describes the modality that the person is going to be competing in. So he's going to be competing in a team of 3 teams, not competitors. Competitors is one thing. Teams, 3 teams. So I'm picking that. Then we got the category. In the category area, we're going to pick the ages, right? Mix will allow me to have mixed ages in there, or I can just go straight and pick a specific age, like 11 to 12 years old. Those are the ones that are going to be competing. Or I can, remember, go to the very complex ones. They're in the bottom. That allows you to pick age plus modality plus blah, 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 extra, extra, extra. I'm just going to pick the simple one here, 12. Because we set this one up already before, remember? 12 to 11 years old, male. Select it. Beautiful. Now, what dojo are this team going to be representing? And this will look in your database of dojos so that you could pick a specific dojo. So let's just pick here Caribbean International Combat Zone. And beautiful. It shows you the dojo name, what country or what state is the dojo located, the name of the sensei of that dojo. And if you want to pick a color for the team, red or blue, you could just pick it here. If it's white, you could pick white. I don't know. You could just pick. That's done. Once you create this, this is your team. So you got to create 3 of these if you're going to have 3 teams. In our case, we're going to be using these are already done, which it says team 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are going to be the ones we're going to be using for the demo. So instead of using the name, we're going to be using this names. And why I want to use these, because I want you to see how he knows and he keeps track of where the team is at every time. But eventually, you could just change this and get it done the way you feel more comfortable. Okay, so that's beautiful. We say okay. So we say close. Everything is done. You just created your teams. Your teams are in the system. So now we're going to go to create a event. And I want to start with the 3 teams first, and then we're going to work on the 4 teams. Okay? So going on the 3 teams, this is the way we're going to work with the system. First thing we're going to do is we're going to click it one time. It's going to open, and we got to create, remember, we got to create an event, like always. So we'll be hitting insert. I'll hit insert, and it brings this screen up. It brought this screen first, which is tells me what tatami am I going to be competing in. So I'll say the tatami number 1, 100 pieces of mat. Beautiful. I bring it over. And then this screen is telling me my event is the number 20 now. So this will be the number we will be using now for every scoreboard for this event. Remember that. Number 20. So we got to create the event. You just got to do this once. Remember, this is going to be the Karate Tournament 10. And it gives you all the information. Who's going to be competing here. You got to tell them what is going to be the ages of all the teams that are going to be there. Well, you could just say they're going to be, we said before it was going to be 10 to 12 male, right? And then we got to pick the division. The division we're going to be doing, we said advance. And last but not least, we got to do the modality. And the modality is going to be the number 3 teams. Here it goes. Beautiful. And with that, we are done. And remember, in the future, we'll be talking about a queue. This is the area that if we set this queue to start it, when people look at the queue area, they will see that the event started. When we click stop, it will show that the event stopped. And when we click done, they will see that we're done with this event, so they can send us more competitors to the tatami. But we're not going to be covering this now. This is beyond the scope of this video particularly. Here we're going to be working with the teams. So that's great. Once I get this done, I'll hit save. So I click save. Everything is saved. Beautiful. So we're going to go here. And here we get the board where you're going to get all the information in for your event. So this is what we're going to do first. We're going to go here and pick what team do we want to assign to this team. As a beginning, it tells you this should be the team 1, this should be the team 2, this should be the team 3, and this should be the team 4. I went here to the tabs on the top to switch between the teams. Okay? And sorry, I said 4, but this is a 3 team, so you only get to up to 3. Then you repeat. So I'll explain that later. So here you get your teams. So let's get the teams inside the system. It's going to show us the team we registered before. You see, this is the team we did, but this is not the one we're going to use though. We're going to pick the number 1, and it sets it up here. It filled everything up. I don't have to do nothing else. I'll pick the team number 2. So I'll be using this one that's already set up as number 2. Then I'll go to team number 3, and I'll pick it right here. Remember, in this box with the 3 dots, I'll just pick it, and I'll pick the team number 3. Once I do that, all the information is in, and beautiful. I can hit save, and that's a good thing to do. Now the teams are picked. So the next thing I got to do is set up my competitors. I got to pick the competitors that are going to be competing on each team. And the beautiful thing of this is, before you had to do all this manually on hand. It was crazy because when the teams passed from one key to the other, you have to rewrite past the information. It was nuts. Now all this is done automatically. We just get these competitors here once, and they'll be moving through the keys alone. You don't have to touch nothing else anymore. They're just moved by themselves. They'll be where they have to be. If they win, they go. If they don't win, they go here, and it gets everything done by themselves. So let's check how that works. First, we got to pick the competitors, okay? So this is the same way we pick competitors before on the other videos for events of competition. We just go to the dots. We pick the competitor from the list. We explained all the ways we could pick the competitors. We're not going to go through that on this video. We're just gonna pick a competitor. It shows me the competitor here. Nothing else to be done. We pick another competitor and he gets it in. We pick another competitor, we get it in. We pick another competitor and we keep going until we get all the competitors into the system. Okay, and then we do the same thing with the team number 2, and we keep looking for the competitors. We just put them in, and we're just gonna fill all this up, and we keep going, and we just keep going, and one more here, and we go one more here, and we just go over here. We go to the second panel where it says the other 2 teams. We just have to pick the 3rd team, because remember we said it's only going to be 3 teams. And we just pick another guy here. We just pick another guy here. We just pick another guy here. And another guy here. And we pick another guy here. And that's it. Once you get those competitors in, you're ready to rumble. So we're gonna click here save, just in case, to make sure our competitors are stored and they don't get lost by any chance. And once you pick the competitors, now I'm gonna explain to you this interface so that you understand this interface. Okay, so this is the way it works. This interface does this thing. If you click here, you will give a competitor a win. Okay, a win. That's a win. So once you click a win, the competitor should win by how many points? Because remember, in Team Kumite, you get a win, but once you win by certain points. So how many points did he do in order to win? So you could type him in here. Not that you're gonna have to, but you could type him in here. Let's say he won because he got 7 points. So he competed with this guy here. So this guy must have lost. He doesn't get a win because he lost. And how many points did he got to do? Let's say he only got to do 2 points. So we'll click it and we'll hit number 2. Sorry with this. Okay. Now, what are we gonna do? If this would be the end of it, we would just hit click results and it would just tell me, okay, great. This team already got 1 win and they already got 7 points. This team has 0 wins and this team has 2 points. And it's giving you the check because it's telling you, for now, this team is winning. This team is losing because it has no check. Now let's go for the second round. These 2 guys are going to compete. But let's say, in this case, this guy lost. And he got only 2 points. But this guy, I'm sorry. What did I do? Oh my God. My bad. My bad. I clicked without clicking first the screen. Here it goes. So this guy got 2 points. Right? And this guy got 8 points on his fight, and he got the win. So we're gonna click save, and quickly the system calculates and tells you, "Oop, this team only has 1 win and 9 points." But this team, even though, look at this, even though both teams only have 1 win, the system already knows that because this team has 9 points and this one has 10, this one is the one winning. The red team is winning. So it takes the guess of who's winning out of the equation, because you quickly can see who's winning by the check being there, and that's great. Let's work with another scenario. The competitors are competing, but in this case, this competitor is competing with this competitor. And competitor red decides that he's not going to compete. He got injured. He doesn't feel like fighting. So he gets what is called a kiken. So this square box would mean kiken, and it would mean hansoku. For you that don't know a lot about the rules, Kikan means that the competitor didn't came to the fighting line to compete, and Hansoku means the competitor got disqualified. If the competitor gets disqualified by any reason, the result of that should be that this competitor should get 0-0 for his team, 0 wins and 0 points, and the other opposite competitor should get 8 points and 1 win. So it's pretty devastated, right? When a competitor either gets disqualified or either does not stand to fight, it really hurts his team. So let's see what you would do. You will click here, and when you click here, automatically the other team gets 8 points, and automatically it gets a 1 point win. But this team gets nothing because they lost, and because by not competing, obviously they didn't win. So we click results, and now the system recalculates and say, oh, this team is winning now. Look, now this team has 2 wins and 17 points. This team has only 1 win and 10 points. Beautiful. Everything looks good, and they keep competing. But let's say you get a draw. Either you want to say both competitors won, or you want to say both competitors didn't get a point. That's up to you. If you give 1 and 1, that could mean a draw. If you get 0-0, that can mean a draw. Let's say they got 5 points, but that's very important to define the points they got, because the points will advance something, but the draws will not advance much because it's still a draw. So we click save, and here you get your results. You got 22 points now, but you're still winning. Now, let's say the last competitor, and I'll do a little bit of thinking here. Just give me 1 second, because I'll want to make this fight create a draw on the event, so that you have to go to a additional bout to decide who won. So this is what we're gonna do. He got 3, so I'll make this guy win 1. And if you have 15 and this guy has 22, if I give this guy 7, I'm pretty sure that he will create a virtual draw. So let's do that. Let's see that. So this guy will get 0-0. This guy gets 1 and 7. And this is pretty realistic, you know. They fought. This guy won. This guy couldn't make not even 1 point, right? And he obviously didn't win. So this could be a realistic fight. So I'll click save, and let's see if it's true. Beautiful. Beautiful. I got a virtual draw. Ooh. So now by getting a draw, nobody's winning. We need an additional bout to decide who won. So we'll go here to decision bout. We'll go here and we go here, and it creates me a new additional bout. This is like the last bout, and this is like the last fight. If they can decide, these two guys, what team won, then they will go to a hante. And you get that option right here. And once you pick the hante will give that team the full decision of a win. Okay, no matter what, that will give the full decision of a win. So let's do this. Let's do that. First, we got to pick a competitor for this team, from this team to go here. We'll look for Darielis Ortiz. So we'll put it there. So we just go here and look at here, right here, Darielis Ortiz. She's going to fight from this team for the decision bout. And here we got Vasquez. So we just copy the name of that competitor, and we could just look for him right here. Let's use our search, which is a beautiful search, right? We click tab, and I got my competitor quickly right there. Beautiful. So this bout that he didn't want to fight before, and he gave a hante, now we're going to try to make that bout to be the decision bout. And Lord and behold, they got a draw. Let's say they made 8 points, and he made 8 points, and let's say that the bout was a draw again. So let's click results, and lo and behold, they are still in a draw. 30, 30, 3, 3. No check marks. Nobody has win. Now the judges has to decide what team won, and what you will do now is go to Hante. When the judge do the Hante, let's say Ao wins. So you go here, you click the Ao checkbox. Hante is down here. It's the only Hante you're gonna have in the whole competition of this event. We click results, and beautiful, you get your check mark. That means you're the winner. So it gives you the win, and it's very important to get a win because the system will move all this data around, and it's very important to get that done. Beautiful. So we got the first competition done. Now let's go and do the second competition. So this is what you get. You remember we did the team number 3, but we never filled out the information for this team. How this information got here? Well, it brought it from your team number 2, because now team number 3 is going to compete against team number 2, and everything is filled out. So all you got to do is do the competition between them two, and let's do one. Let's just do a quick one. I'll say this one won, this one won. I'll say this one won, this one won, and I'll say he won with 5 points. 5 points. I'll say this one lost with 2. This one lost with 2. I'll say this one won with 8. This one won with 8. I say this one lost with 5. Lost with 5. And let's say this one got a draw. So let's say this one got 8 and this one got 8. And let's let the system tell me who won. So I'll click results, and lo and behold, I made a draw. Oh my God, yeah, I did a draw myself. So in order to not get a draw, I'll just put this one winning with 1 win right here. And I'll click it here, and I'll give a win to this one. Okay, so now I click, lo and behold, one team is decided. This red team won. Okay, we don't want to go through the Hante and through the decisions of the second bout. They just quickly decide them themselves. Now we go to the tab up here to go, because we're still missing one competition. And what competition is that? The team number 3 still has to compete against team number 1. Okay, and now once this team is decided, which is we'll do it right now, I'll go here and I'll say team number 1 win, team number 3, sorry, and this is a win, and I'll say they won by 7, 7, 7, and I'll say this bout was in 3 because they lost it, and I'll say this one was a 4 because they lost it. So I'll say these two was win by them. Let's say they got 8 and 8, and I'll say they lost these by 6, 6, and 6. And when I click results, boom, this team won. But look, something very interesting. This team only got 28 points, and this one got 34, and still this team won. Okay, so that's one of the things that the system does for you. He first goes by this, by the wins, and then he goes by the team that got the most points. Okay, beautiful. So this is great. This is like we just did an event. We're gonna go now to the results area, and this will tell me the teams got. Now I got to do a little bit of visualizing. This team got win, 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 so I can go by the wins. It tells me what teams had more points. So it tells me first, this one win 6 times, this one win 6 times, this one win 5 times. So this is obviously the third. Then I see these two. Okay, so let's see who had more points from these two. The one that had more points was the team number 1. You can see the most points down here where it says total points, 64. So 64 got the first place, this one got the second place, and this one got the third place. This one got more wins than this one. So even if this would have more points, this one had more wins. So this is the win column. This is the point columns. And in this case, because they both, all of them had one win, this is the way it was decided. If they wouldn't had one win each, then it would have decided in a different way. You would have go by whoever had 2 here, whoever had 1 here, and whoever had 0 here. Obviously, that would have been your decision for the spots. Okay? So, great. Great. We almost there. We are almost there. Okay? So, we're going to cut this video all the way just up to here. I'll do a recap. And once we do the recap, we'll come back for our next video in the part 2. And we'll do this now with the electronic scoreboard. And that's like an additional step. Because now, instead of applying these points right here, we will be doing it with the scoreboard system, which is right here. And a very good thing you just saw by we doing this right now is that you can use this part of the program even if you want to run the system with any other scoreboard or any other way. This could be even an annotation system that allows you to run a team competition even if you decide not to go with the scoreboard system. So just putting it out there for you to know. And another thing you need to know is what are these 2 print buttons right here. Once you get your event done, you get your reports. So when you click the report of the first competition, of the first round, this is the first round, it will give you the results of this. So if I click here, print, here I get all the results. I get the competitors, the points they got, competitors, the point they got, and on the second round, and you get down here all the totals, all the information. Then you close here, and then you go here, print the round, and you could get the third event, the results, and all the information. And this could help you to have documentation for your event. And they're very beautiful reports that really gives a lot of professionalism to the competition, because you get to see if all the points were applied to the right place, if everything was done in the right way. It's very good, very, very beautiful, and it will really help you. So let's recap so that we can start with the electronic scoreboard system, okay? So recap. We went to the first screen. Well, let's go all the way to the beginning, and sorry for doing that. Remember, we're gonna go here to team competition. We created the team, which was here. We hit it insert. We created that team. Then we went close. Then we went to the competition. Is it gonna be 4 teams or 3 teams? It's only 3 teams. We went here. We created an event, which is in this case, I'm not gonna insert one. I'm gonna take one that is already done. We're working with the event number 20. They're color coded. If you can see, when it's blue light, it means it's a 3 team. When it's a blue dark, then it means it's a 4 team. I'll pick the event. I filled out the event by picking up all the information the way we learned before. Then I went here. Remember, you gotta save once you pick all that information, clicking here. Then you go here. We pick the teams on each card. We went to this card, we picked a team. We pick another team for this card. And then we went for this card and we picked another team there. Once we did that, the other thing we did was pick all the competitors. Once we picked all the competitors, we went here and we clicked save. We remember to pick the competitors of the third team too, because it's 3 teams. And we just started to do the competition. In this case, we did a manual competition, which is we just put the points and award them without an electronic scorecard board. So what we did was we came here and we typed the information manually. The system gave us the results. We click here every time we wanted to see the results. The check mark told us who won. And then we went over here and we did the other competition between these 2 teams, team 3 and 2. And then we went over here and we did the last competition between Team 3 and Team 1. And remember that when it is a draw, a virtual draw, you get a additional competitor here to get a draw, the deciding match. So you get this additional competitor, and then you also get a hante if they cannot decide still who won. Okay, and at the end of the day, once this is done, we had the reports, beautiful reports. They gave us all the information that happened on this tatami with all the scores that happened, all the information that you need to know for this event. Beautiful. Once that was done, we wanted to know who won, and we went to the last tab number B, and in that tab, what we got was the results, and we got the first column, which it tells us all the teams that won, and then it tells us the wins of each competitor. This is the total of the wins of each competitor. This is the win of each team, and then if it's draws in there, we get the points that the teams did, and we just do a little bit of math and we figure out who got the first, second, and third spot. Beautiful. Yep, that's what we did. We did a full event manually, no scoreboard, but we got the event done. Yeah, I think we cover everything. I'm checking it all out. And then you're seeing all this stuff down here, but we're not going to touch that yet. And we're going to talk about this when we talk about the electronic scoreboard. And we never use the yellow button. Remember, the yellow button is only used when you're using the scoreboard, because this is the one that gets the information that the scoreboard gets. So we're not using that. The only button we got to use was the green button to get all the calculations done. So I think we're finally done. This is the first video for Team Kumite of 3 Kumites. So this is going to be the part 1. So I hope we see you back again on part 2. So see you later. Bye-bye.